One of the strangest habits I've picked up over the years is something I never really thought about until recently. I walk in video games. Not always, but more often than you'd expect. In an era where game mechanics are designed to make movement faster, smoother and more efficient, I find myself taking my time. I'll explain more about that later on in this video, but first, what is it about walking that makes these game worlds feel so much more real? My life, probably like yours, is packed full of things pulling me in every different direction. But when I make certain choices when gaming, something shifts. I feel more present, more in control, more calm. Now, this wasn't always a choice I had. Try taking a relaxed stroll through Sonic the Hedgehog or Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, it's not fun, but modern game worlds have changed. They're rich, detailed and often eerily lifelike. And when I slow down, whether I'm walking, driving or riding at a steadier pace, I find myself having a completely different experience. More immersive one, and more than that, one that genuinely helps my mental health. That might sound a bit dramatic, but hear me out. Sometimes when I'm sprinting through a city or a village, I suddenly realise how absolutely unhinged I must look. NPCs are going about their day, chopping wood, heading to the saloon, casually brushing down their horses. Meanwhile, I'm leaping over fences, barging through crowds, and skidding around corners like I'm being chased by the law. Maybe it comes from my younger days as a Twitch streamer, when I wasn't just playing for myself, but for an audience. The pressure to entertain made it feel like I had to be in constant motion, but now I play differently. I move differently. Take Red Dead Redemption 2. The world's designed for realism. People playing blackjack, stumbling down the street, or just sitting on their porches enjoying the sunset. And then there's me sprinting full pelt through Saint Denis like some desperate lunatic late for a train. And sure, the game lets you do that. Games should give you that freedom. But sometimes I stop and I think, if I were actually in this world, would I be running or would I be walking? For me, walking isn't just about blending in. It actually changes how I connect with the character I'm playing. Role-playing games like the Elder Scrolls are perfect examples of this. You're not just controlling a character, you are that character. And when I picture the kind of person I want to be in those worlds, it's not a skooma-addled speedrunner bunny hopping through the marketplace. It's someone calm, thoughtful and deliberate. This isn't just limited to RPGs either. Even in more linear, story-driven games like Tomb Raider, movement changes the experience. Lara Croft isn't a reckless sprinter, dashing past every ancient relic at full speed. She's an explorer, someone who takes her time, examines her surroundings and moves with purpose. And when I walk instead of run, I feel more in sync with that version of her. I mean, if I were an archaeologist creeping through a dark unknown tomb, I'd probably tread carefully too. Then there's the simple joy of stopping to take in the view, because let's be honest, some of these virtual landscapes are better than real life. Think about it. You wouldn't fly to Paris, sprint off the plane, tear through the city, glance at the Eiffel Tower for half a second, then immediately turn around and run back to the airport. So why do we do this in games? There are some genuinely breathtaking environments out there. Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Red Dead Redemption 2, even moodier games like Alan Wake. And yet, when faced with these stunning landscapes, my instinct used to be to sprint past them, because I had a mission to complete, a quest log to clear, a percentage to push from 67% to 69% before I went to bed. But when I slow down, the experience shifts. It stops feeling like a to-do list and starts feeling a lot more like an adventure. Lately, I've had a lot of conversations with people who say gaming just doesn't feel fun anymore, and I get that. The endless checklists, the rush to 100% completion, the FOMO of missing limited time events can all start to feel like a second job. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe we're treating games the same way we treat our real lives, rushing from one thing to the next, never stopping to take a breath. So what actually happens in games when we slow down? Let me show you. Here's a clip of me slowly exploring the San Luis River in Red Dead Redemption 2, taking in the environment, versus me sprinting through the same area, focusing only on the objective. I hope I'm able to make my point well enough. Walking grounds you in the world, giving a sense of place and scale, like you're part of something bigger, something you can truly exist in rather than just pass through. I hope that makes sense. When I take the time to experience the world, it stays with me, it sort of matters. And this is where it gets personal. There are times when life feels overwhelming. I'm the same as anybody else. Stress piles up, responsibilities pull me in 100 different directions, and my mind just doesn't stop. And in those moments, I put on my headphones, boot up a game, and go for a walk. The ambient sounds shift as you move. The music fades in and out at just the right moments, and sometimes just the simple joy of hearing footsteps on a dirt path. I've even started catching trains in real time and riding trams, or just staring out of windows as the world rolls by. I've downloaded mods to tweak the weather and time of day to match my mood. My absolute favourite is walking through a nighttime thunderstorm. That might sound bleak, but to me it's not. It's peaceful, it's meditative, and sometimes it's exactly what I need. At some point I realised, what if I couldn't do this anymore? What if my PC broke or these games disappeared? So I started recording my walks and uploading them to my YouTube channel. Not just for others, but for myself. Now I have hours of relaxing in-game footage I can watch anywhere, on my iPad before bed, during lunch breaks, or just when I need a moment of quiet. I've even experimented with longer, more artistic videos like an 8-hour overnight train ride and a slow river flight from end to end. Look, I'm not saying I never run. Sometimes I sprint, sometimes I drive like an absolute maniac, sometimes I go full speed, crashing through everything in my way. Games give you that option, but sometimes I choose to walk. And if you've never done it before, I highly recommend it. Maybe it's for immersion, maybe it's for role playing, or maybe, just maybe, it's because sometimes slowing down is exactly what we need. Please hit like and subscribe, and feel free to check out more of my content on screen now. Thanks for walking and talking with me.